ObserveIT user risk dashboards point out the risky users within the organization. This user dashboard allows you to focus on the new users that are in risk at any given time. We can see that the risk is categorized by critical, high, medium, or low. Let's investigate the 3 new risky users as of yesterday. We click on the 3 users and we can see right away that we have here 3 new risky users. The first one is Mary Smith. She is a Unix admin. What's risky about her is specifically she used sudo in a risky way. She tampered with the log files and created a backdoor. We can see down here Robert Miller. He is a wealth management advisor. What's risky about him that he used Salesforce and exported the top client information, and he also later used Dropbox, or in this case G Drive. We can also look here at James Brown. He is a network administrator. What's risky about him is the way he's using Office 365. What he's doing mailbox snooping. Let's investigate Robert Miller, the wealth management advisor, and figure out what exactly did he do. First of all, we can see that his risk went up by 100% as of yesterday. So he became risky in a short amount of time. 82% of his activity is critical. So let's explore this further. We can see that what he did was exported the top client by financial value information. Let's investigate this. Once we're in the forensic console, we can see that activity that created Robert a risky user. We can see here that he exported the top client financial value report. We can see that he did that in Salesforce. He clicked on the export button, we'll see that in a second, and we can also see that the effective user that he used to log in was another user and not his user. Let's look at the video that demonstrates exactly what he did. Here we can see that he clicked on the export button on the top client by financial value report. We can see that the effective user was Gabriel Freelander. The way we identify that is using ObserveIT field value tracking, and we can see here that ObserveIT highlighted that the effective user was actually Gabriel Freelander, which is different from the user that was used to log into the desktop, which was Robert Miller. Let's look at additional activity associated with Robert Miller. Now we're going to look at a thumbnail view that is associated with every alert that was generated for Robert's activity. It's basically a screen capture of what happened exactly at the time of the alert. And we can see that around the same time that he exported top client financial information, he also accessed G Drive. And we can see the thumbnails associated with that activity. Of course, we can play back the video like we did earlier, but in this case, what I want to show you is how we can reset and manage the risk score for Robert Miller, or all users is similar to Robert Miller. Whenever we see an incident, what we can do is select whether we want to create out of it a non-issue, if that's normal activity, and we can do that either for Robert Miller or for all users that are similar to Robert Miller, let's say in the same department, or we can decide to escalate it by creating out of it an issue. This way we can manage the risk across the board or specifically for Robert Miller. Let's take a look at another use case. This time we're going to look at a privileged user use case. So we're going to go back to the risk dashboards and we're going to focus on Mary Smith. Mary Smith is a Linux administrator. Her activity, specifically her risk activity, was associated with sudo, and what we can see here that she created a backdoor. We're going to investigate that, and also tampered with the log file. Right away we can see what her intent was. This is a key thing to understand whether her activity was out of convenience or out of malicious. And we can see that the fact that she tampered with the log file doesn't seem like it's only convenience. Maybe her account was compromised. Let's go and look at her activity, and we can see here everything she did, and we can play it back just like we did with Robert Miller. So let's look at the video and let's look at the session playback and figure out exactly what she did. So we can see here that there is an alert, and when we play the video, we can see that what actually happened was that she ran a mem check using sudo, and basically this in the memory information was displayed on the screen. This doesn't look malicious at all, nothing that reminds us of what we saw earlier. Let's figure out exactly why did ObserveIT state that there were malicious activity within that session playback. Let's open here the details of this session playback, and we can see here that this memcheck wasn't that innocent at all. We can see that she copied the password shadow and group file, and we can see here later on she overrid the latest version with the original one, basically covering her tracks. We can also see that she created a ping command with an escalated privileges. This is starting to become too technical. However, what we can learn here is that even without being very technical, just by going back to the risk dashboards, we can learn that we can understand exactly the risk associated with Mary Smith in a very simple manner